And if you would like to start by sitting in easy pose, if easy pose isn't easy for you, as I say, you can always pop your legs out the front. You have a cushion with you today, you can pop it underneath the tailbone just to give you a little bit of extra support. This will help you straighten up the spine. If you want to with your legs, you can take it a step further, and you can even go into half lotus or full lotus. Just notice how your legs are feeling today, and don't push it. So whichever position is comfortable for you today, just sit in that position. And just relax the muscles around the eyes and unclench the jaw. You can close your eyes if you choose, or you can just soften the gaze. Take your tongue away from the roof of the mouth and unclench the jaw. Let your throat soften and let your shoulders move away from your ears. Just relax your stomach. Just let it pop out, let that tension pop out. There's no one to see. And imagine there's a cord on the crown of your head. And it just gently lifts you up. Just straightens out your spine. And there's another cord, and it's on your solar plexus, on your sternum. And I tug it gently towards me. It's a really small movement, and you take your heart forward or your sternum forward. As you do that, you're going to open up your shoulders. You're going to open up your chest in this position. It's just going to gently assist your breathing to become more deep. And then just bring your attention to your breath. Know that you don't need to change your breath at the moment. Just want you to notice how the air moves in and out of your body today. Just being aware of your natural breathing motion. It's rapid and shallow, or deep and even. And as you draw your attention consciously to your breath, it generally begins to slow. Every breathing system is connected to an emotion. So every emotion has a correlating breath system. To be calm, we inhale slowly through the nostrils. We pause a beat, and then we exhale slow and controlled through the nostrils. Just seeing if we can lengthen out the exhalation to a little bit longer than the inhalation. We're not forcing this. As you inhale, you can imagine inhaling from the front and the back of your body just expanding a little. You might notice as the diaphragm relaxes down, opens up, your belly moving. And on the inhalation, see if you can expand to the left and the right as well. On the exhalation, in between your belly button and your solar plexus, that point there, on the exhalation, you can imagine pulling that in towards your spine and pushing the last bit of stagnant air from your body, just getting rid of any negativity, stale air that's in the bottom of your lungs. Inhaling fresh, crisp, new, vibrant oxygen. If you've been practicing this for a while, you might notice your exhalation now is very, very much longer than when you first did this. And think of 3 things that make you happy. And sometimes this feels like a big question. Might be people, might be places. If you've picked something with a slightly conflicting emotion, you might want to pick something a little bit more simple. It might be the joy of picking up pebbles from the beach. From using your favourite cup and pausing for a moment in the day. It might be the moment you see a loved one when you haven't seen them for a long time. And with each happy thought, just being aware of your body and where you feel that in your body. Where do you feel happiness? And today we're going to work with the Sankalpa. That's our positive affirmation, our heartfelt resolve. We feel it all the way through our body. What's your intention for today? Is it for the mat, for your whole day, or even your whole life? So you can start this phrase with I am. And repeat this phrase to yourself 3 times. Notice how you feel when you repeat your Sankalpa to yourself. And when you're ready, gently blink your eyes open and take a moment to reveal your beautiful smile. And just have a little move around, stretch out however you need to today. Just enjoying that movement in your body. We are slow today, it's however you need. Whichever way your legs have been crossed, I'd like you to now cross them in the opposite direction. This always feels strange when we first do this. And again, you might be in lotus or easy pose, whichever you prefer. And before we go anywhere, first of all, we're straightening up through the spine. You can adjust that cushion underneath the tailbone if you wish. And just drawing the attention back to the breath. Letting yourself lift up your shoulders away from your ears. And take your hands wide, palms to the sky. And just gently lifting up your right hand, placing it on your left ear and just drawing the right ear to the right shoulder. Just really enjoy that stretch. Be aware you're not taking your head too far back or too far forward. Or find that place where you need that stretch. Imagine someone with your opposite hand, holding that hand, stretching you out. And gently lifting that up very slowly. We don't realise how big these stretches are until we come out of them. Drop the shoulders down if they've come up to be a pair of earrings. Opposite hand, placing it on the ear Just letting the weight of the hand draw that left ear to the left shoulder. And once you've been there for a moment, you might want to look at your camera and adjust your shape slightly, that you're not going forward or back. Then using that outstretched arm, that activated arm, and almost feeling someone holding onto that arm, and you're leaning away from that, increasing your stretch. Again, it looks like a tiny motion. Once you've been in it for a while, you really just sink and stretch into that just a little bit further. And supporting yourself out of this position. Bringing the fingertips down to the ground. Bringing the chin to the chest. I don't want you to go any further than that at the moment. Just placing that chin on the chest. Stretching out the back of the neck. And thank yourself for the time you've given you today to do something kind for yourself. And then let the head drop a little bit more. Just as you loosen up those muscles, you might want to sway the head from left to right in this position as well. Might be a very, very tiny movement. You've spent a lot of time in front of a computer or on your phone. I often get a lot of tension in this area. Bringing your head back to center, inhaling. Just bringing your head back to a parallel position. Straightening up through the spine, taking the ears away from the shoulders. Just a little How are you feeling today? We are going to go. I'm going to find my plan. Oh no, I know what I was going to do. I write a class plan, and then everything changes. So I've got my bolster or my cushion. I'm going to take the soles of the feet down to the ground. And you might want support as you do this, you might not. So we're just going to gently lift up our hips. We're not pushing yet. Gently lifting up our hips, taking our bolster, our cushion, or even blocks or butts underneath. And just letting the weight of your hips sink down onto that bolster. First of all, we're going to take it further in a minute. I just want you to get comfortable in this position first. Don't let your knees flare out to the sides. Your palms are going up to the sky. You probably want to open them up so they're a little bit wider, so you can open up your shoulders in this position as well. Almost immediately, once you've been there, as you settle into this position, you notice that you want to modify and cut certain parts of the body. And then inhaling through the nostrils and allowing yourself to let go. Noticing any unnecessary tension in your brow, around your eyes, your cheeks, your lips, your chin, around your ears, even your ears. You know, there's lots of touch points in our ears. You can give yourself a nice ear massage at some point. They'll go bright red. It's really good for the whole body just to give yourself an ear massage. And then just relax down into your hips, let the weight of the hips going into that cushion. Not letting the knees flare out to the sides anymore, just keeping them where they are. You might find that you start to put some weight into your shoulders as your shoulders open up. Just noticing where you are today. Knowing that yin yoga is an exercise in patience. That we're not used to being still and relaxing. If you need to at any point, you can draw your attention back to your breath so that your shopping list isn't going through your head or the 800 things you need to do today. You can take the arms wider if you're putting more weight into the shoulders. And then if you want to, you can bring your knees up towards your chest. Might be just adjust your cushion slightly underneath you as you do this. Just bring your knees up to the chest, noticing how the quality of movements change. You're still supported, but more of your spine should be on the ground. Inhale deeply through the nostrils, and as you exhale, see if you can just relax down into this position. Letting gravity move your knees towards your chest. And once again, you might even want to take the arms slightly wide and give those fingers a little bit of a fidget and some wrist rolls in here as well. Just loosening up any joints. You might even want to make some fists with your hands and then stretch them out. Just generating some movement in the body. And think of the 3 things that make you happy today. Where do you feel happiness? What makes you happy? Is it putting on a beautiful dress and going somewhere? Is it something simple, like your favorite tea or a comfort food? Is there a certain smell that evokes joy to you? And when that joy is evoked, is there a certain place in your body you feel happiness? You might notice it in your belly. You might notice your skin tingle. You might notice your breath systems change as you feel happy. Now stretching out the legs, pointing the toes up towards the sky. You feel nice and supported in this position. I don't want you to push it too hard. We're not pushing our toes right up to the sky. Just relaxing them in a kind of plow shape. And just relaxing out the hips so the toes may start moving towards the floor. Again, this is not a pushing motion. We're just going to hold here. And let gravity do the work for us. If you need to at any point, you can just bend the knees, bringing the knees back to the chest. Inhaling through the nostrils. As you exhale, try exhaling through the mouth. As you exhale through the mouth, see if you can let go of any unnecessary tension here. What's not useful. Once you've been here for a moment, you might even wish for your bolster up a little bit more and support yourself on your back. This is an option. It's an invitation, not an obligation. If you pull that bolster up in your back, you can open out your hands and just, once again, relax your hip area and just let your legs go to wherever they go to comfortably. Your arms are probably even wider now. Try and keep your arms so they're parallel with the shoulders, and that your palms are soft, receiving the gift of Reiki that I'm going to send you today, the gifts from the universe that come to you naturally. And once you've been here for a moment, I'd like you to add a swaying motion into your body. Might be a tiny, tiny swaying motion. It might be just moving your toes from left to right and just see where you feel that in the rest of your body. Do you feel comfortable, more comfortable moving or being still? Just being aware of what your preference is. And being aware as you move very gently. What parts of your body touch the ground? What muscles touch the ground? How that changes. And I'd like you to invite you to take your hands above your head. So if you can take your fingertips together, you might want to relax the hips a little bit more in this position. We're relaxing into this pose. We're not pushing, we're not overstretching. Just letting gravity do the work for us. And once your arms have been above your head for a few moments, you might just want to let the tension drain out and surrender your shoulders and your arms down to the ground. And once again, an invitation, not an obligation. If you want to, you can take the feet and you can take them all the way to the ground. So your toes are above your head. You might find yourself going into this position naturally. You might find that it's not a good position for you. You can always bring your bolster back up to support you in this pose. For me, once my feet touch the ground, the bolster's not much use to me. Know wherever you are is perfect. You don't need to go any further. This is your maximum comfort level wherever you are. Or you may, if you're with me, want to soften those knees and take the hands around and place them on the ears. Whichever level you are at today is where you're supposed to be. You know that it's going to be different tomorrow and yesterday, and that every day is different. And just observing where you are today. Give yourself a little body scan, see if you can release any unnecessary tension. Be gentle and kind to yourself. And noticing how letting go feels. See if you can exhale through your mouth. Releasing any tension you no longer need. And wherever you are, gently supporting yourself down. Nice and slowly. Nice and slow. However you get there. I mean, coming out of these poses, when we've worked very slowly, you need to come out of them very slowly. Leave the knees above the chest, place your hands on the knees, and just give yourself some knee circles, massaging that spine. Massaging the base of the back, and circling in the opposite direction. And then just take your arms wide, let your knees go to the right hand side, just add a little twist there. We're not staying here for long. Bringing the head and the knees back to center, letting them fall in the opposite direction. Just letting them go wherever they need to go to today. Be aware of any little aches or pains in this position. And bringing it back to center. Knees up to the chest, and I want you to do some gentle ankle circles. Be aware of any clicking or crunching as you do this. Your arms can be wherever you like. They can be out wide, palms to the sky, an airplane arm. They can even be above your head, framing your head, whichever you prefer as you do this. And as you circle your ankles, just be aware of any tension in your feet you want to let go of. You might wish to squish up the toes and then stretch out the toes. Just releasing any unnecessary tension in this area. You might hear some clicking or some crunching as you do this. You might want to point and flex the foot as well. Just being aware of what's happening. If you find any areas that you feel that need a little bit more attention. You sense need a little bit more. You could just go with that area and give yourself what you need today. When you're ready, Just supporting yourself up. I'm going to go onto our toes. Now with this pose, you can use a cushion. I'm going to use a block so I can demonstrate. Just so you can work at your own level. You might want to have books if you don't have a block, or you might not need the support at all. So you can see I'm balancing on my toes. Be aware of any knee injuries in this position, okay? Your heels are moving down towards the ground. If you want to, you could just place some books or blocks in front of you. And just rest your knees on the block so you can get a really nice big toe stretch there. So this is one option that you can do. The sensation will be different in both, or you can balance on the toes, pushing the heels into the ground. You're going to have different results if you do different positions. So just try it and see where you feel you can stay today. So I'm curling my toes under, and I take my knees onto the block because I know that I can balance like that, but I want that really nice, strong toe stretch today. We gently sit up, imagining that piece of string on the crown of the head. Oh, I need to adjust already because I'm sinking and moving my blocks forward. And take your hands into prayer pose. And I'd just like you to soften your gaze, soften your jaw, let the shoulders move away from the ears. Notice where the tension is in the body. This is an achy one. This can be an achy one, so come out of this if you need to. Where's the unnecessary tension in your body that you can let go of? Think of 3 things that make you happy. What 3 things make you happy? See if you can make them different. What else makes you happy? What brings you joy? Is it an activity in your life where you lose yourself and you suddenly bring your head up and realize hours have passed? Like time standing still as you entered that flow and creative part of you. Is that happiness to you? Is there a person, an animal? They might be huge things, they might be small things. Just choosing to listen to yourself today. And then once you focus on what makes you happy, you might notice that you might want to add more of these elements back into your life, that you have the choice to do so. That some of the simple things that bring you joy, you sometimes neglect. How could you pop them back into your life to lift you up, to make each day a little bit more meaningful? And surrender. I know that this pose can be really challenging, so if you need to come out of it, then please do so. If you've got any pins and needles, you might want to move out of it. Move any joints around. And bring your attention to your breath, really focusing on that inhalation and that exhalation. You can add a smile and you can repeat your Sankalpa. As you repeat your Sankalpa, see if you can relax your tummy muscles. And notice the quality of the difference of feeling when you do that. And if you close your eyes, gently bring them open. And support yourself out of this position however you get there. Again, really slowly. You don't realise how deep this is until we come out of these positions once we've held them for a while. It can be really, really challenging. And just straightening out your legs. I don't want you to work those legs. I just want you to get your alignment straight after bending your knees. For so long, quite a lot of pressure on the knees. You can give yourself a rub. As I always say, rubbing is really good for the nervous system. It's really good at soothing us. We're really good at doing it for children. We do it instinctively. Not so good at doing it for ourselves. So this is really good at really about noticing your body and soothing yourself. We're allowed to soothe ourselves. It's good for us. It's part of being human. And then just straightening out through the spine. Imagining that cord on the crown of your head. You can push your fingertips down into the ground if you want to. Just straightening out through that spine again. We've got another cord on our solar plexus. It's tucked forward slightly. This opens up the shoulders, mixing up our breathing slightly easier. And then we're just going to gently place our hands on our thighs and just gently roll your hands down to your legs. Wherever they go, just sinking down to wherever you go comfortably. Drop your head down as well. It might be a really dynamic movement. It might be something really gentle for you today. Just going to wherever is comfortable for you, finding your own edge. And then relax the head down, relax the shoulders in this position. You can imagine exhaling into the ground. You're not super comfortable here without a prop. You can always take a bolster or a cushion and place it on your legs. And just move down the bolster just to give yourself a little bit more support. Just wherever you are today, and just see if you can relax into that a little bit further. Allowing yourself to let go. You might start with the support of a cushion or a bolster, and then remove it later as you relax into this pose a little further. Just seeing where you go today. Where does your body take you when you relax and let go? Does it surprise you? The space and the flexibility that you can create within yourself. Just by surrendering a little bit more with each breath. And imagine I'm with you. And on your exhalation, I gently lay my hand on your back. And as I do so, just feel yourself gently sink forward a little bit more, not pushing. Just felt like just take it a little bit further. Just felt natural. Just surrender a little bit further. And think of 3 different things that make you happy today. And repeat your Sankalpa, your positive affirmation, your heartfelt desire to yourself 3 times. And before we come out of this, if you want to, you can really have a general stretch and reach forward to see where you go. And then rolling up through the spine. Gently, slowly, kindly, your chin comes up last. I'm just going to turn so you can see me. You can keep your legs out the front if you want, or you can cross them however you like. And just roll your shoulders back. Give me some nice shoulder rolls. Inhaling on the rise, exhaling on the lower. Notice any clicking or clunking as you do this. And rolling them forward. You prefer to go forwards and back. You know, what's your preference in life? Going forwards, going back? Maybe have a little bit of a rebellion and give it a shake out. Or allow a little bit of a rebellion. Gently going to come back to the mat. We're going for banana asana. So banana asana, I love this one, it makes me happy. If you've done aerial with me, you'll recognize it. So first of all, just stretch the toes away from the body. Imagining that there's like gentle cords. And those cords are attached to your big toes. So we're just stretching them out against the body. Your hands are above your head, your fingertips are touching. And first of all, we just lengthen through the body. And even as you've just been there for a moment, you'll notice that quality of lengthening beginning to change. And then I would like you to take your feet and your fingers to the right hand side. So you're just trying to bend over like a banana. Just bending like a banana. Don't take it too far. I don't want your left hip coming off the ground too much. I want you to feel that nice stretch down the left side of the body. Once you've been there for a moment, I want you to relax into it and let that left shoulder move back down to the ground. That will just increase the stretch for you. And just noticing where you are. Try exhaling through the mouth and letting go of any unnecessary tension while you're here. It looks like a tiny movement to anyone that's not here. And once you relax into it, you notice that relaxing into it rather than forcing it is a completely different quality. And repeat your Sankalpa, your heartfelt desire to yourself 3 times. Notice any unnecessary tension in the body. You need to relax the muscles around the eyes again. Is tension in your buttocks helping you with this position or hindering you? Gently coming back to center. And bring the knees up towards the chest. Get the hands on the knees, just some gentle knee circles. Love the knee circle. And circling in the opposite direction. Taking the arms wide, palms to the sky. Arms are parallel with our shoulders. Let your knees fall to the right hand side, head to the left. We're not staying here long. And then bringing the head and the knees back to center, letting them flop down in the opposite direction. Just letting it go, let them go there. And then bringing it back to center. Soles of the feet to the ground. And now we're stretching out those legs one more time. Big bits of cotton or cord on the big toes. You might even feel that lengthening in your legs that you have to adjust yourself as you get them flat and back once more. Fingertips above your head coming together. And you can almost imagine yourself stretching in both directions. You might need to modify yourself once you've been here for a while, moving your head, your back, your hips. Just as you lengthen through the body here. And then moving the feet and the fingertips to the left-hand side in a banana. Again, one side might be completely different to the other side. That's completely fine. Again, we're not trying to get our feet so that they're like hip. We're not trying to get our feet so they're up by the hips. We're just trying to get a really nice long stretch through the side of the body. So we're not trying to push it. Just see if you can sink into that and let your right hip and your right shoulder sink back down towards the ground. Just letting go of that tension there and that twist that you've added, noticing that stretch increase slightly. Where do you not need that tension? What's unnecessary here? Can you allow yourself to let go just a touch more? Do you give you permission? And when you give yourself permission, how does that let go feel? And is there another part of your life where you feel you can let go like this? Is it enjoyable for you? Or is letting go, does it seem to even cause more anxiety? Because we haven't practiced relaxation to make this normal for us. Whatever your answers to yourself, just be aware of them. You don't need to judge them. Exhaling through the mouth. Sinking a little bit deeper into this pose. How do we sink deeper? We choose to let go. We find our own edge, our maximum comfort level. Sometimes we pull away from that edge. Just knowing wherever you are is perfect for you today. Listening to our body's wisdom each day. To respect for our body. Our body's our companion our whole life, no one else. Has every moment with you in your entire life, only our body. Only our body. Just let your body relax and notice how that feels. And gently coming out of this position. And again, it feels like one of those that isn't a great big position, but please be aware as you come out of it, you will notice you went into quite a deep stretch there. Soles of the feet to the ground. And once again, bringing the knees up towards the chest. And just circling the knees. Circling them in the opposite direction. And taking the soles of the feet to the ground. And the palms are on the ground, close to your hips, not too close. We're just going to inhale and let our hips rise up slightly. Just rolling up through that spine. Just resetting our alignment after that twist. See how high you go. Imagine your hips levitating up into the sky. You might want to take some weight into the shoulders. Exhale through the mouth and roll down. One vertebrae at a time. I'm going to do this 2 more times. As slowly as you can. Really noticing those tiny, fiery micro movements in your back and in your legs, in your arms. Really drawing your attention to your body. And what's happening at each moment where you feel it happening, not just being unconscious of that movement. How many things are happening in your body just as we do this movement. And exhaling through the mouth, lowering down. Notice how much control you have. It's nice to be in control, isn't it? And lifting up one last time. Slowly levitating your hips up. Really choosing to listen to that qualities in your body. Those synapses, those muscles. And exhale, rolling down, down, down. Once you get back to the earth, notice the earth welcome you. Different parts of your back might touch the ground now. I just want you to be aware that the earth supporting you today. Be aware of where it supports you and what you need, what you've observed from listening to your body today. And acknowledging what makes you happy. They're not always big, complicated things which make us happy. Sometimes they're tiny, tiny moments within our lives. Bring the knees up to your chest. Let your feet and your knees go wide. You're just going to add some posing circles in there. It's really good for loosening up those hips. We haven't done a great deal of hip work today, but these are one of my favourites. Just be aware of the angle of your head. When we're doing this work, where our spine is flat on the floor, sometimes we have a tendency to bring one of our heads to the left or to the right, just so we can straighten out that spine, knowing that your neck is part of the spine. Whichever way you're circling, now circle in the opposite direction. Might feel completely different to the other side. And bringing the knees back together. We're going to do our cactus arms. So our cactus arms are like this, but you're lying on the ground. Just so you can see me, your palms are spread wide. And then let your knees fall to the right hand side and your head to the left. I'm just trying to make right angles with those arms so that your elbows are parallel with your shoulders. You can move your fingers around, just relaxing any tension out of the palm. You might once again just want to flex and stretch the hand, maybe even move the wrists so you can release any tension and then surrender into that position. If you want to here, you can cross the legs. You can even twist the legs around, taking that twist even further. If you are twisting one leg around the other leg, you might feel that your shoulder lifts off the ground. It's okay. If you want, you can put a cushion under it. Or you can just imagine that one day your shoulder stays on the ground. Just use your mind to assist you in that. And let go. Surrender. Your mind becomes busy. Bring your attention back to your breath. Something that makes you happy. Or repeat your Sankalpa to yourself 3 times. If you can relax your buttocks and your pelvis in this position too. Soles of your feet, tops of your feet, cheeks, Notice sometimes you need to modify when you suddenly notice that you had a whole area more you just let go of. Wherever you are, very, very slowly. Just bringing the hands in, untangling the legs. Bringing the legs and the head back to center, however you get there. Don't need to move fast. Taking their palms back to the knees, gentle knee rolls in between. Circling in both directions. And then once again, we're going to take the hands into cactus arms. Nice and receptive. Let your knees fall to the opposite side. Your head falling away from the knees. And begin that process of letting go again. Surrendering and giving yourself permission to let go. Allowing yourself to be calm. To be a little still. To use your mind and explore your mind. Have the imagery or something that makes you happy. And then noticing in the body where you feel that happiness. Where do you feel happy? And if you want to, you can cross the legs. You can even twist the legs around. Keep your legs just to increase that twist again if you want to. As you do that, your shoulder might lift off the floor. That's completely fine. Once you've just adjusted, you might have to begin that process once again of just going, I allow myself to let go. I allow myself to listen to my body. I allow my mind to visualize and assist me in my practice of yoga by guiding me. I control my mind to help it assist me to create a new aspect of quality within my movement. I use my breath and understand that as I practice my breath, that I can integrate different breath systems into every part of my life. That I know how to breathe calmly. And if I don't feel calm in my life, then if I choose to control my breath, I can transform in my body and in my emotions how I feel in that moment. And your fingers and toes, little wiggle coming out of this position, however you get there. Just lengthen out through the body, nice big stretch. Nice big stretch. And if you want to, you can take blocks or cushions and place them underneath your feet. I like my feet supported Savasana. Something really unique about you can play with Savasana when we're doing slow yoga. You can even put like nice bean bags on your belly, which induces some relaxation as well. I quite like putting my hands on cushions sometimes as well. Just giving a different feeling to your relaxation today. So really play with your version of Savasana when we're in these with our little props and notice how you feel a little bit differently, how you relax. How it feels to be supported in a different way sometimes. And relax the muscles around the eyes. Relax the brow. Let your upper lip soften. Take the tongue away from the roof of the mouth and unclench the jaw. Imagine exhaling through your throat. Just giving any tension in this area back to the universe. Letting your shoulders become heavy. Just letting go of that tension in your stomach. Releasing any tension around your pelvis. As you do that, you might want to fidget your legs out or even gently roll from left to right, just to assist that movement. And let your feet move out to the sides. And thank yourself today. Doing something kind for you. And if happiness was a colour, what colour would that be for you today? Might be different tomorrow, might have been different yesterday. So think of those 3 things that make you happy. And see if a colour comes into your mind. And notice the quality of that colour, the depth, the intensity. Is it vibrant? Is it super relaxing and calm, that colour? What resonates with you today? What colours? Might be a multitude, you might have your own personal rainbow. Just noticing which colour you feel today is the colour that represents happiness for you. And I'd like you to make yourself a little promise today. And that little promise, that little commitment to yourself today is that you will do something for yourself that makes you happy. Just you. Might be a tiny thing. See if you can make that commitment to yourself and then keep that commitment to yourself. And repeat your Sankalpa 3 times. And you can either stay exactly where you are in your Savasana today, or you can begin to move however you like. As always, I'm not going to tell you how to move. You know your body, so I really enjoy the idea that you move how you need to. That might even be like rubbing your head and your face to bring you back, acknowledging the body. Might be twisting joints. It's just whatever you need today. We're not moving fast as we do this. Just being gentle with ourselves, supporting ourselves up into that seated position. Again, you can sit on the cushion if you want to. Pop the cushion underneath. I like a cushion in slow yoga. Cross your legs that unusual way. Just because every time we cross our legs, we have a dominant leg. So I just like you to swap it out a bit. And just draw your attention to your breath for a moment. Settling down into that position. And just noticing how anything's changed for you today within your body, quality of sense, of feeling. And thank yourself for everything that you've done for you today. That you have recharged and nourished, and been kind to yourself, giving yourself compassion and soothing. Each one of these elements is a form of self-love. Sometimes self-love alone just feels too big. So know that you can pick those elements like compassion, nurture, and each one of those is a tiny aspect that we welcome into ourselves is a gentle, tiny form of the whole of that self-love that we can gift ourselves. One last time, repeat your Sankalpa to yourself 3 times. Taking your hands into prayer pose. Namaste. And Adiyom. Thank you for joining me today.